Do you believe in second chances? I do. In fact, it seems to me that Jesus did too. He tells us we should forgive 40 times 40, which is coded language for always. We should always forgive. He prevents the woman caught in adultery from being stoned to death and then tells her to go and sin no more. He tells us not to judge or condemn, lest we ourselves be judged or condemned. Yet the story Jesus tells us in today's scripture, this parable, is about 5 foolish bridesmaids who run out of oil because they didn't think ahead. And when the bridegroom finally arrives late and it's dark and everyone else is ushered into the banquet hall, the foolish bridesmaids aren't even there. They'd gone off to get more oil, and they arrive late. No amount of pounding on the door will gain them entry. They are therefore excluded from the banquet. That doesn't sound like the forgiving Jesus we have come to know and love. That sounds more like a punitive justice system that shows no mercy. How can we understand this story? First, I have a question. Have you ever run out of gas? Actually, I have, several times. And most notable were the times I almost ran out of gas and had my young children in the back seat. I would be occupied with all kinds of things and then casually look down at the gas gauge and suddenly go into panic mode. How many hills would we climb before we got to the nearest gas station? How much gas would I save if I put the car in neutral? How about asking the children to all lean forward as we coasted downhill? I did all 3 of those things, probably on more than one occasion. The fact of the matter is when you run out of gas, you run out of gas. When you arrive late somewhere because you ran out of gas, you may miss that important appointment or never get to see your favorite celebrity or lose out on your long-awaited vacation flight. Did you ever wonder what happened to those people in the airport that get paged 2 minutes before the flight takes off? What are they doing? The story Jesus tells us today is about the 5 bridesmaids who forget the oil for their lamps. And this story is not about an unforgivable mistake that is made. It's a story about not paying attention to the important things and the ensuing consequences. According to biblical scholars, an oil lamp is sometimes used as a Jewish metaphor for doing God's work, for doing good deeds. And the wedding celebration that the groom invites people to can be seen as that time in the future when the whole world will enter into God's kingdom. Jesus called it heaven on earth. This then becomes a story about 5 wise bridesmaids who invest their time and their energy into doing good deeds and are therefore prepared for the new world order that Jesus proposes, a world where peace reigns and justice prevails. On the other hand, the 5 foolish bridesmaids have spent their time on frivolous things, preoccupied by petty jealousies and their station in life, blind to those less fortunate than themselves. The oil lamp that is their good deeds is completely empty, and to fill it up will take some time. Today is Remembrance Day. Back in 1918, World War I was called the War to End All Wars. The League of Nations was founded, which has since become the United Nations. And on a regular basis, the countries of the world meet to try to iron out their differences. Although the intentions were good, we know it hasn't ended all wars. In paving the pathway to peace, many steps are needed. No easy peace proclamation will do it. Words must be matched with deeds. Oil must be put in those lamps. It starts on a personal level by loving our neighbors as ourselves, by forgiving 40 times 40, by looking for ways to be of service to one another, by welcoming the stranger in our midst, by crying out against discrimination, by wearing our mask to keep others safe. It expands to a local neighborhood and then regionally and nationally and internationally. Political and economic refugees are welcomed. Ties of cooperation and collaboration are forged. Projects of mutual benefit are developed. The whole world bands together to fight a deadly virus. This is possible. This is doable. It requires our attention and our dedication. May the angels of our better nature prevail.